Hey everybody, it's Wick here. I'm going to go through and answer some YouTube comments. If you ever have any questions, go ahead and just leave them in the comments. I try to answer all the questions, but it may be easier just to do videos on these questions. I don't know. Never really tried it, but I'll go ahead and try it right now. Barking Cheese Pants. I love that name. It's hard to say that name without smiling. Has a couple topic suggestions. First one, do you have any issues with selling new thrift store / garage sale items as new on Amazon? Many people say that you're asking for trouble if you do that. Basically, you wouldn't have a paper trail to prove authenticity. Second, how do you contend with the lack of motivation? Perhaps that's not an issue for you, but personally I go through times where I simply don't feel like tackling all the stuff that I bought from a great 2 or 3 day haul. I know the profits are there, but I have trouble getting started. Love the hunt, but so much of the prepping, testing, and shipments and labeling, boxing. I wish I could hire that part out, but it's not an option right now. So, first of all, with the garage store, the garage sales and thrift store, new on Amazon question. You don't have a paper trail, and I guess that could come back and cause you some problems if a certain brand had a problem with you selling it, went through Amazon, and I've heard some stories, but it's very few of it being a real issue. Usually if they don't want you selling something, the brand will just ask you to remove it, and you do, and there's no problem. I've had that happen maybe 4 or 5 times since I've been reselling, and I just removed the brand. HP recently contacted me on eBay about a LaserJet toner cartridge, and they asked me to verify where I bought it, because they were going to contact eBay and all this stuff and get their lawyers on me, and it's just like, really? Like, it's just one ink cartridge. So I kind of ignored it, and then like a couple of days later they sent me another one saying, you haven't responded, you have 24 hours. And it's like, wow, this is just really annoying. So I just went ahead and told them, it's like, I bought this. I didn't tell them a rummage sale. I just said an office supply store that they were getting rid of them. And that was all I said, and they did not bother me anymore. I understand wanting to protect your brand, and you don't want people counterfeiting something and trying to sell it under your name. But at the same time, it's just such a hassle. Are they going to go through like Craigslist and contact people, and like, where does it end? If you're like, I'm not a lawyer, so if you're too nervous to sell that kind of stuff on Amazon, I just suggest you don't do it. There's plenty of other opportunities. You can contact companies and try to become authorized resellers. There's a lot of things you can do, but I've never had any like real issues. And there's so many gray areas in selling online that it's just hard to know like where you stand legally on anything. The best thing to do is just get a brick and mortar store, whatever you need to do to sell wholesale, and then contact the company, get full permission. I mean, obviously that's the best thing you can do. But Amazon has over 2 million third-party sellers. It may have hit over 3 million now, and they all sell stuff like this. And I can guarantee you most of them don't have a paper trail. It's kind of like the IRS. Are you going to get audited with something? It's possibility. You need to have all your records ready and as much information as you can. It usually don't happen to people. I feel like that's kind of how it is on Amazon. But if you really want to protect yourself, you just do everything 100%. Go get a lawyer and talk to them. But for me personally, I don't have a problem selling things from garage sales as long as they're new. And like I said, I never had any problems. So about the lack of motivation, this is something I believe everyone struggles with. I definitely do. I love to go out sourcing. I can source all day long, but when it comes to actually doing the work, it can suck. And the last couple of weeks, I've been a workaholic. I've been doing 16+ hour days working. Even when I sit down to relax, I turn on YouTube to watch reselling information or trading information. I have my laptop in my lap, doing research or looking for clearance to buy online, just all kinds of stuff. It just like never ends, because literally you can source 24 hours a day through retail places, online places. You can either be prepping or listing stuff on eBay. As far as reselling goes, you can literally work 24 hours a day, every single day, and you'll find stuff to do. If you're a reseller and you say, I'm all caught up, nothing to do today, then you're doing it wrong. You're missing out on some opportunity, because there's just so much that can be done. You know, dealing with receipts, tax information, just organizing stuff. It honestly never ends. And you combine that with other things online, like for me, trading and any kind of affiliate website, or even YouTube. Like I could literally just make YouTube videos like all the time. I guess there's enough information, but you burn yourself out doing it, and that can be the thing with anything. So my suggestion is to break it down into parts. Like I hate listing on eBay, so I came up with a little system where I list 2 items a day. I can list 2 items a day. That's not really anything, but it's not a whole lot, but I'm progressing at least. If you're having trouble doing the shipments, break it up into 3 parts. I usually get everything ready, get the labels printed, and then the next day I put the labels on, get everything ready for that. Then the next day I package them up and get the shipping labels out on those and drop them off at UPS. So I kind of do it in 3 parts. Sometimes I'm just really motivated and I'll do the whole shipment just, right out of the gate, and that always feels good. The harder you push yourself and get to that point where you've worked 4 or 5 hours getting a shipment ready and it's done, you'll get that adrenaline, like I did it, it's over, and that will kind of stick with you. So the next time you are in this predicament, you'll do it just like that again, because you want to have that good feeling of being done and that accomplished feeling. But definitely try to do that. I was listing 2 items a day. Then I would read like a chapter in a business type book, and affiliate stuff. I would do like 2 items. I was listing 5 new shirt designs every day, instead of just, because that's another thing, like merch by Amazon. If you're doing that, you can literally sit down and just do shirts all day. If you got enough, even if you don't have the higher tiers, you can have the shirts ready, so when you hit those higher tiers, it's just really unending, and it definitely is good if you can hire stuff out. That's something I need to do. I just don't trust. I have trust issues. I really do when it comes to Amazon, eBay, and stuff like that. It's just hard to give somebody a responsibility when they could do something to screw it all up, and that comes back on you. It could ruin Amazon. It could ruin your whole account. If you have somebody that you can't trust and they mess up real bad or something. So it's really hard to do that, and I would love to hear some tips on how people get out of that mindset, because really I need to start getting some help so I can get to that next level, because I'm about at the limit of what I can do by myself. And definitely take a week off from reselling, if you can do that, and then just come back at it with a clean mind. Try to find like things to look forward to, like social outings or whatever it takes. And you know what really helps me motivate is when I'm tired and I don't really feel like doing it. I think about when I was working a 9-to-5 job, and how I didn't mind doing the work, but the people and the way I was treated, and being stuck in that predicament, that dead end feeling, I just remember that, and how I never ever want to be doing that again, and that's enough to motivate me. I think about how much money is going into my bank account, just stuff like that to psych me up. But definitely, if you're having trouble doing the work part, just break down the work into different sections every day. It's better to do that than to just burn yourself out and just go days without doing anything. At least that's how I handle it. So before I get to the next question, the video was loading up and I paused this ad. People get tired of seeing these stupid marketer ads like, watch now how I went from minimum wage to firing my boss. It's just like, as soon as I see something like that, even if they're like a legit person, I cannot pay any attention to it, because it's just like, you're just screaming for attention. Like, just be more humble about what you're doing. But anyway, I'm going to answer Landon Lambert here. Quick question from a noob on Amazon. Which Amazon FBA. Will Amazon FBA allow you to sell a Nintendo 3DS game cartridge only? I'm guessing they don't. You can. You can sell it as a collectible, but you got to go through all the prep. Put it in a poly bag, and I would even put like a little bit of bubble wrap around it or something just to protect it a little bit more. And you have to, do the basic labeling. I haven't sold many 3DS game cartridges only. I do remember selling a Mario. It's something you'd have to put into the description box of condition notes of, cartridge only, no manual, no box, and hope they read it, because some people will just see the price of the game, because you're probably going to price it lower if you only have the cartridge, and they'll just buy it and they'll get it and be like, where's the case, man? Where's the manual? Like, this is a ripoff. Bad feedback. So you do risk, more bad feedback. It's probably better to sell that kind of stuff on eBay. I usually try to, like any electronics or anything like that I sell, you're taking a risk because people don't read the condition notes. I've said this before, but I wish when somebody bought something used on Amazon, the condition notes box would pop up before they bought it, and you'd be like, please read this. You hit a little check box to accept the condition that you're going to be receiving the item. They'll probably never do that because that probably kills kills sales a lot. There's probably would get a percentage of sales they wouldn't get, so they would rather the person just buy it, I guess, and hopefully they don't return. I don't know how Amazon thinks like that when it comes to the business part, but you are taking a bit more of a risk selling it cartridge only. I anytime I sell a game or anything like that, I try to have it complete, and I make sure to list that in the condition notes, and I price it a little bit higher. But as far as I know, you definitely can. I've never seen anything where you couldn't do that. I have heard though that if you're selling board games, they have to be complete and have the instructions. That's just something I've always heard. I don't know if I've ever read it. It's so hard to find actual Amazon information because everything's worded really loosely, so they can just change it however they want if the situation comes up where they need to discipline somebody or whatever. So the last question I'll answer here. Been making some great side income using a lot of tips and info provided from your videos, so thanks for all the great content. Quick question: I've been finding lots of expensive printers in great shape at Goodwill that have solid sales ranks. Most cost less than $10 and some sell for $100 plus. What is your experience selling these without the manuals and driver CDs? Lots of return / negative feedback, etc., or usually pretty smooth sales. So first of all, it's really cool to hear that people are making money with some of the information I provide for my videos. It's kind of crazy to think some random guy like me in Ohio, just sharing his, reselling adventures, a passion for reselling, and people are watching and making some money on the side. That's cool to hear. But for the printers, I don't sell used printers because it's just too much of a hassle, in my opinion, to buy ink for them to fully test them and deal with it. Like Aaron says here, there's usually no manuals or driver CDs, anything like that, but I do know there's tons of money in used printers, and if you're willing to deal with them all, then I think you can make some great money. As far as Amazon, it is going to be a lot more risky. It's not going to be smooth sales usually. I would say you're probably getting like a 50 to 60% return rate on that kind of stuff. If I base it on like the combo units and VCRs and stuff like that, other used electronics I sell, people will return. A lot of people will buy stuff used and they don't even realize it's used. They just don't know how to operate. It's someone who's not used to buying online. They just look for the lower price. They see it. They miss that it's used. Stuff like that happens. Somebody might get it and say, hey, where's the driver CDs? And people don't know how to download drivers, don't know how to Google. And you are asking for a headache if you sell them without manuals and driver CDs. One thing you can do, if you're good with computers, you can download the driver CDs and put them on a CD and send them in that way. You can print out manuals from the manufacturer website and send them in that way. Or you can just try to sell them on eBay and you know, disclose all that. It's a lot easier. You can still sell them on Amazon and disclose it, but if somebody doesn't get that driver CD and they leave you 1-star review on your seller account, then it's not gonna be able to be removed easily with used items. I find I've had a couple 1-stars from used items that were completely, you know, not my fault at all, and Amazon didn't remove them. And I'm assuming it's because they were used, even though they usually remove stuff that's their fault. Like there was one thing, it was just damaged in shipping, but for whatever reason Amazon wouldn't remove the bad feedback, and I'm assuming because it was used. Kind of what I do is I send in a few used electronics. I have them available for sale at a time, and then as they sell I'll send more in, just to make sure I'm not getting bad feedback. Like if I got 2 or 3 bad feedback on the combo units, I've never had any bad feedback on combo units, but I've had, you know, ones that I list without the remote, and I get contacted by the person. It's like, hey, you didn't give me the remote, please send me the remote. It's like, I told you I didn't have a remote. So usually I have to refund them like $20 or $30, and some people are just like, that's not enough, I'm just going to return it. It is a hassle, but there's great money in it. So the money doesn't come easy, but the money is there. So I hope that sheds some light on your question. But that's going to do it for this video. I don't want these to be too long. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. If enough people ask, then maybe I'll do another video like this. If you're interested in this kind of video, make sure you like the video so I know. Thank you for watching, and this has been Wick. Till next time.